of VTubers being pushed away from Twitch. I've already made a video on this, but I would love to hear Rev stand on it and see what kind of things he has to say about this. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting topic. I want more focus around this. This is very important.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. So today we're going to talk about Twitch because yesterday they came out and clarified some of their enforcement policies, and right now it is obvious more than ever that they have it out for VTubers, which is ironic because only a week ago we saw Iron Mouse shatter the all-time sub record, and yet VTubers are still being treated second rate, especially when it comes to the enforcement of the site's policies. We've seen recently Zentreya get a warning on her account for sexual themes because she wore a one-piece swimsuit for a brief moment. Meanwhile, slop like this is being recommended by the platform where you have people...
Yeah, I think it's crazy because this has kept going for months. This is crazy. I think this is nuts, the fact that this is going on in itself. Like, I don't understand how they can put up... I don't understand how they can really allow like the double standards being played this much. It doesn't make sense to me.
Bending the rules, these face cammers who are just crudely placing an inflatable pool in the corner of the room, calling it a pool stream, and then using that to...
And you know, this is her ass, and this is like a put on her crotch. Like, they're two different camera angles. It's clear what's going on here.
Where basically micro bikinis, and then on the right, I can't even show you, a camera.
No, I had to blur this out. YouTube was like, no, I had to blur it out.
Is focused on her behind where she's wearing a thong, and the camera lens is pressed up against her so deep it's practically touching her colon at this point. But this is allowed, but the other stuff with VTubers is highly contested and often punished for very draconian ways. And it's always been obvious that they have preferential treatment for cam girls versus VTubers, but now it's more obvious than ever. And now with these clarifications, we have this objective reality where it seems like what's on the left here is less likely to get banned than what's on the right. So yesterday, Twitch came out with these clarifications. These are not any new rules or anything like that. It's more clarification and examples of things that may or may not violate their rules. And it really just shows the kind of stuff they've been doing behind the scenes and the bans that people have received without understanding the reason as to why. So let's begin with this right here. This is the most relevant one for VTubers, and I think this is going to be abused by a lot of Twitch moderators and people who are part of that team.
I think so. I think they will abuse it a lot because, like, the thing is that the Twitch has always had one rule and they will bend around it. I think the moderators that dislike VTubers will use this a lot. Against VTubers. They will always bend the rules around this and constantly attack them.
I think they're going to use this to take it out and ban multiple VTubers that they don't like. They can use this. It's very exploitative, and I'll explain why. So it says this: depicting fictional anime characters of childlike appearances, lollies, and shotas with any type of sexual framing is not allowed. This applies to VTubers and within games where avatars are uploaded, such as VR chat, with childlike avatars, even if the broadcaster and operator of the avatar is above the age of 18. So right off the bat, you know you're dealing with a difficult rule when it's very subjective. What does childlike really mean, generally speaking?
I mean, they're talking about any, like, the thing is that they're talking about just any girls that are like short. Realistically, they're just talking about girls that are short, that have a flat chest or are short. That's it. So they can say lollies or they can say anything else.
Because does that include hairstyles, outfits, petite models? Are those things?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Like, what's childlike here? Is it like what around this topic really emphasizes what's a childlike? And again, whenever I made the video, I was talking about what are we trying to say is sexual either? Like, they can. There's a lot of things here that are vague, and I think they will turn everything around to make them seem right.
Childlike.
Good morning, Sakura. How you doing?
Person to the other, but the other issue here is that they're using the phrases lollies and shotas, where I would guess that a lot of Twitch staff don't understand the proper definition of those terms. It has nothing to do with age or anything like that. That's why characters like Rebecca from Cyberpunk are a lolly, and a lot of people go, wait, she's like in her 20s. Well, yeah.
I don't think people know what the fuck a lolly or shota is. They think it's a 6-year-old. They think it's a 10-year-old. No, it's not. It's a 20, 50-year-old girl or dude that just are looking visually young or short or are more young, like visual, I forgot the word, but you know, they're basically just look young. They're just old individual that look young. There are many girls out there that are 25, but they are short and look like they are actually 15. There are many like that, and this is exactly what it's trying to depict.
These terms have nothing to do with age. It's just a petite body type with cute characteristics.
Yeah.
That's why the creators themselves refer to characters like Rebecca as a lolly. However, there's a lot of misinformation and hysteria surrounding fictional content on places like Twitter, where a lot of people have gotten improper definitions of these terms. And again, I would imagine a lot of the people working on Twitch staff probably have similar bits of misinformation guiding them on these terms. And you couple that with the fact that they're using a very subjective phrase like childlike appearance to judge these VTubers and possibly ban their accounts. In fact, there's also this language about sexual framing, and we have an idea, I guess, of what that might entail. Apparently, it sounds like Fallen Shadow's first ban back in July might have been based on this reason because she had a toggle to show her VTuber model's feet. And by the way, also, her model is designed to resemble herself in real life because she's very petite. So basically, Twitch is calling her a child, which is a very odd thing. But anyways, the next rule is also adding some clarification. It's the attire policy, basically saying that the attire of your VTuber model is under the same standards as face cameras, which is not something people were unaware of. But there's one important new piece of information that might have gotten a lot of VTubers banned recently.
That's the hips one.
Which is hips. You have to cover up the hips of your VTuber model, which is definitely one of the reasons why so many VTubers have been getting suspended recently, because they have been showing their hips under the false assumption that it was allowed. And the problem is, up until now, Twitch doesn't give actual specific reasons that you are banned. They only give you a general reason, like sexual content, but they don't tell you what exactly was wrong with your...
I think Twitch has now updated it to be like more specific in some sort of way. They usually never were specific, like they just told you something. But now I think they've updated it. They will be more clear about the bans, which is a W on Twitch.
VTuber model that got you in trouble in the first place. And for a lot of people, it definitely was this hip coverage rule that people just flat out weren't aware of. And on top of that, you see a very weird addition right here, saying these guidelines, referring to attire, apply to VTuber models, but not video game characters, including those uploaded into games such as VR chat. Which, as Camilla points out here, this is very, very bizarre. What is the difference between a VTuber model, a 2D VTuber model uploaded through VTube Studio, for example, versus a 3D model through VR chat? Like, what is the difference? Why is one getting additional rules than the other? It makes no sense. And also, they use the VR chat example because they say it's like you're playing a video game. Well, I'm using VTube Studio, which is considered a video game by Steam, for example, and that's how I get this model right here that you're looking at now. So why?
That's a good point. That's actually a good point. I mean, if we're going to consider VR chat a video game, why can't VTube Studio be a video game?
Why is this so much different than VR chat? It's very confusing, and also it leads way to someone possibly just getting a 3D VTuber model and then just claiming it's in VR chat. And is Twitch supposed to somehow enforce that? I'm not sure. But anyways, a lot of people are starting to come up with
thank God
appropriate VTuber models.
Thank
and all
God.
Jokes aside, this is what it feels
There's
like.
finally a perfect VTuber for Twitch. There we have it, guys. There it is. Cover it all up. Perfect.
For some people, the rules are extra for VTubers when you have stuff like
Damn.
this existing and being promoted on the platform. I can barely even show you any of these screenshots because everything is so explicit. They talk about sexual framing in the rules about VTubers, but talk about framing here.
Just talking
the
about the
framing
topic.
of the game
You're acting.
covering
How you
about
doing, Obi?
10% of the screen. Meanwhile, the rest is all just a ploy to exploit the hot tub rules, where cam girls like this simply just toss an inflatable pool in the corner of their room.
And that doesn't make sense. Like you have no water. It's just in the hot tub in the background, like a inflatable hot tub. There's no water here. You're not really at the beach. You're at your room.
Allows them to wear very skimpy bikinis and even have a camera dedicated to being pointed at their behind, which is basically only a thong, so you're seeing just about everything.
I couldn't get a camera, sorry.
This is a very popular trend right now for a lot of cam girls on Twitch. This is somehow allowed, but then we have all these draconian extra rules for VTubers. And that's the issue. It's the enforcement of these rules on top of that. And some people just don't get that. And I don't understand.
This guy is the biggest VTuber grifter I've ever seen. I didn't know about him until like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This guy, man, his main content is VTubers. And he's not a VTuber. But like, I feel it's odd that as somebody that is mainly focused around VTubers and talking to VTuber, now you might not be yourself a VTuber, but you are constantly consuming content and talking constantly to VTubers. How do you not understand the simple thing? VTubers want to be treated similarly to flesh tubers. Twitch updated their policy to reflect that. Now VTubers don't want that. Help me understand. Brother, are you stupid? Are you dumb? Like, did you hit your head? Because like I'm confused. How are you always surrounded by VTubers, always constantly consuming VTuber news, content, situations, talking to them, but yet you don't understand that there's a clear hypocrisy and double standard going around here, and that this is also removing basically nearly all female VTuber design out of the blue. How did you tweet this? How did this get 1.2k likes? What is this seems like a grifter trying to grift toward VTuber hate now. What the fuck what is going on? What's wrong with this guy?
Tweets like this saying VTubers wanted to be treated similarly to flesh tubers. Twitch updated their policies to reflect that. Now VTubers don't want that. Help me understand. Help me understand how someone in the VTubing scene doesn't understand why VTubers are so upset. It's about the enforcement of the rules. Even if the rules were 1-to-1 for flesh tubers versus VTubers, it's the enforcement of those rules. It's clearly bias towards cam girls. VTubers are punished. They have the book thrown at them every time they have a possible violation. But cam girls get away with just about anything, and their punishments...
Bro, VTuber getting attacked for just existing. They're getting banned, removed from platform just for existing.
Are nowhere near what VTubers get. I have seen now, over the past couple of months, multiple VTubers get week-long or month-long suspensions for their hips showing on their model.
The only one that got a warning was Zentrea, and she is literally one big fucking corpo VTuber. Everyone else gets a ban for a month.
And yet...
Meanwhile, you have this girl fucking on stream, getting 7 days.
Only 2 years ago, we have examples like this, where a cam girl literally had intercourse on camera and only got a 1 week suspension. In fact,
that wild?
There are multiple OnlyFans girls
Bro, that's
on Twitch
wild.
who are working on their 13th, 14th, or even 15th ban on Twitch, and yet they have never served a suspension longer than 3 days. Please explain to me how any of this makes sense.
I got 2 weeks and I didn't even get sex. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that, radio.
Well, a lot of people are also looking at these new rules.
Oh, God, man. We live in a clown world.
Here's a Twitch W right here. They're referring to this part about swim and beaches, concerts, and festivals.
Twitch
to sum
W?
it up, basically, they're making it clear that if you properly flag your content as being a pool, hot tubs, and beaches category, you can have even more revealing outfits. And that's something that is already being taken advantage of by a lot of cam girls on the website. But I point this out because it all seems like so ridiculous, all these hoops that they're making for these rules.
It is.
And these exceptions they're trying to create.
It is.
So are you telling me, based on this, if Zentrea had a PNG of a beach in the background of her stream, she wouldn't have gotten in trouble for wearing that one-piece swimsuit. Like, make it make sense. Like, this is why those cam girls are taking advantage of the pools and hot tubs rule by just putting a blow-up pool in the corner of the room and saying, yep, now I can wear a bikini and do whatever I want. That's who's going to take advantage of these clarifications. But now you're just showing like how like fickle and complicated all these rules are for seemingly no reason. And on top of that, there's another rule I want to cover here, which really just goes...
She didn't do anything. She toggled on a bikini. That's what she did. That's what she did. Also, Zentrea also got banned in the past for being in a bikini in the hot tub beach section. Like, this is crazy.
The next level, it says... static or slightly animated artwork for scenes such as stream starting, be right back, and stream ending artwork must follow all of our guidelines. And based on my interpretation, it sounds like they're saying that sort of
everything, they're targeting everything with regarding VTuber. Isn't it nuts? It's everything.
Sort of artwork has to follow the attire policy too.
Yeah, what happened with the artwork could be like sexual. Why is the artwork needing to be following the attire section?
Which is insane. So now the artwork of your BRB screen has to follow these extra clarifications. It's really an insane standard, and also one that seems to disproportionately target VTubers.
It's clear. All it does is target VTuber. Is this new? It's yesterday's news.
A lot of face cammers, they have animated BRB screens and stuff like that, but I think there's a much higher proportion of VTubers who have those, especially featuring their own.
I made a video, it's pinned if you want to look at it.
This rule
Zero
targets VTubers a lot harder than your traditional cam streamer, which is, again, showing that they have it out for VTubers. And overall, it's not just obvious that the enforcement is different. A lot of people are actively ignoring that there are extra rules for VTubers. There's a lot of them.
There's a fuck ton of rules. VTuber had to spend so much time fixing their model, while a real individual or a VR chat player can take 3 seconds to fix it.
Very subjective and open-ended ones that could really be applied to a very high portion of VTubers if given, if these rules are being applied by a particular person on the Twitch staff. They can really bend some of those rules involving VTubers to punish just about anyone or label their content as childlike or something like that. And I think it's a very dangerous road that we're all going to see unfold in front of us. I think some of these clarifications are going to be abused by the Twitch staff who already clearly have it out for VTubers, and I think on top of that, the enforcement continues to be hypocritical, and there's no overlooking this stuff. It is just pure hypocrisy. Cam streamers are treated completely differently than VTubers, and now we know some of the clarifications as to why that might be happening and how so many of these cam streamers are getting away with behavior that would normally get a VTuber temporarily suspended or even worse. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I think all this does is push away VTubers from the entire platform. I think that's all it does. I think that there's somebody at Twitch that hate VTubers. Somebody at Twitch don't like VTubers. Somebody at Twitch want VTuber to be gone. And they are constantly forcing these rule sets that will just push more and more away. And I'm not sure why. I wonder what that is, what the reason is. W video, yeah, it was a good video. Make sure to go click the like button. Sub to the channel if you enjoy these kind of videos. And when you app with us live, feel free to come by my Twitch channel on twitch.tv/Adley. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.